So many people ask me, how did you get into this business? And one of the things I think is really important is to kind of go back. Like, you need to figure out how you got here, mainly from where you came from. And that's in leadership in general. And so I would say that I've been in sales and marketing basically my whole career. And I also have my master's in organizational leadership. So one of the things I noticed when I was sitting around the executive table of nonprofits or large organizations or even my own marketing agency, one of the things I realized is that there aren't good leaders sitting at that table. And a lot of times those leaders aren't good leaders because they've never been told or developed somehow, but they were technically really savvy. And I think that that's the piece where I was like, wait a second. Somebody can be technically savvy and keep moving up into leadership roles. And so it dawned on me, when you start to think about technical versus leadership, those are two different things. They're both needed. They're both critical. And you can be a leader in a technical role, but sometimes it's harder to be a leader with the technical expertise. And so that's why I decided, when I started the organization in 2015, I walked out saying, what did I want to do? And what I realized is there are a lot of organizations out there that need help in terms of how do you develop leadership so that the culture can grow and grow the strategy. And so I use my master's in organizational leadership. I use my experience sitting at the executive table. And then I also bought in and invested in some curriculum that was top-notch, amazing, well-known curriculum. And so I combined all three of those to build the best leadership framework that we could build. And we start at the personal leadership side of it. How do you show up as a leader? It doesn't matter which part of the organization you're in. How do you show up a leader? And I think that that's important to note, is a lot of times when we talk about leadership, we talk about the titled leader. We can be leaders at all levels of the organization. And I think that that's something that a lot of organizations are missing today. And so our framework allows us to start at the executive team, really focus on what is the personal leadership, what's your leadership commitment, how do you show up every day as a leader? And what we want to do is take that and implement it throughout the organization at all levels, whether it's an individual or it's somebody that's a senior manager or somebody that's been there for 30 years. Those are my favorite people, because those people that have been there for 30 years is like, Laura, I don't need this. I've been here 30 years. And those are the people that get the most out of it if they have a growth mindset. So that is something that's really important to me, is how do you take your experience, your education, and amazing curriculum and build a community where you're all holding each other accountable and you all are exuding leadership at different times throughout the organization. So that's my challenge. That is my challenge to all organizations. Do you have the culture that allows you to build leaders? Do you have the culture to say, that person is technically savvy, they're not the best leader, so they are not going to be in that role. We need leaders to lead, and we need technical people to do amazingly technical, innovative things. And the strengths together is what causes those organizations to be great.